Over like the past couple of weeks, I've heard about this SEC thing, this ruling coming out in regards to cybersecurity. I think the cool thing is if you look at like 2 decades back, when they talk about the SOX Act, they did this from a financial perspective, and of course, again, we can look back and say, yeah, that made sense. Is this now the appropriate time?
This is probably right about the right time that organizations that haven't made this commitment, that haven't said that we need to really ensure that our corporate directors have some sort of cybersecurity expertise, like really understand and are keeping on top of this. It's very evident that these issues are not going away anytime soon. It's a huge lift to go from, an on-premise type of traditional IT operations model into a cloud forward or cloud centric type of approach. I see this as a really good way to actually start to make some progress on this and really just help everybody be better prepared, better strategized. Is better strategized a word?
We know a fair amount of organizations that we've heard something along the lines of, well, it's just not really that much of a priority right now. Like we everybody gets that it's important. It's just not something that that it's priority. We've got other things that we need to do. So this almost brings some credibility to the players that we speak to on a regular basis that are like, I'm trying so hard to get people to understand internally why we should be looking at this or why we need to do that. So I almost feel like this is like a mini win for the security practitioners that are like, please help me get people on my team or within my organization to understand this is really serious, serious damage can be done here.
Even though there's plenty of people that have gone through this pain that we know of, that, unfortunately some of our clients that have been in that situation, companies can no longer ignore that cybersecurity and protection of the data and just basically keeping your systems available is so crucial to the business. And it's not just email. There's so many other things that we all depend on.
Having somebody on the board that has the expertise. They actually called out a gentleman by the name of Rodney Adkins. He shared that he was excited to join this cybersecurity startup board because of the operational IT experience that he's had. So I look at it from a competitive nature too, but they threw out a number of 200 organizations, well-known organizations now have this person on the board.
Yeah.
I really felt like that number was low, but the cool thing about that though, even while my opinion is that number's low, when you look at a year from now, 5 years from now, that number is just gonna quintuple and times by a large factor.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, we start to hear less CISO burnout, which is a huge problem, just because of the roles and the expectations and what that individual is there to help accomplish is better defined. It's been really murky for a long time. There are still unpatched exchange systems from the Hephium attacks, from the web shell attacks being exploited, all of these things that we talk about. Patch your systems, educate your employees, implement MFA. It's not easy stuff. It's not easy stuff when you've got old legacy infrastructure, when you've got the stuff, along the lines of this thing with the SEC saying, if you're publicly traded, we're gonna, force you to have some cybersecurity expertise on the board to make proper recommendations. That's what they're trying to do. They're really trying to avoid market disruption, business disruption, increased costs to the consumer. Inflation is on everybody's mind. When we're making better decisions, when we're doing a better job vetting out and figuring out what is the right process, what are the right tools, how do I arm my people with those two things to do jobs better, we all win. We all win.
Cyber insurance has been something that has been discussed quite a bit. Do we see maybe a change in the cyber insurance space where hey, if you can prove that you have somebody like this on your board, maybe that's I don't want to say a discount because that sounds like a State Farm commercial, but
I could see something like that, especially for the publicly traded one. It's going to be a have to, a requirement, you have to. But I could see where, just from what I saw over the last, say, 3 years, 3 years ago, it was 10 questions. Are you doing this? Do you have this? You could check a box and say yes, yes, yes. Now it's prove it. Show me that you have the controls. Show me the audit logs. This is 250 questions, plus provide the systems. Like, the fact of the matter is, cyber insurance providers have lost money. For every dollar in premiums they get last year in 2021, they paid out $1.75. Then you think about, like, we hear stats from some of our providers that say, we've been involved in 81 incident responses this year. Just in 2022, only 2 of those, the insurance actually paid out on the claim. 81 incidences with one provider, mind you, just one provider. Only 2 actually paid out. I don't want to be on that side of the odds. I don't like gambling anyways, but that's not good at all. It is never too late to write an email or pick up the phone and talk to a trusted advisor and help ensure that you're seeing everything that's out there possible and helping you make a better technology buying decision.
All right. So Ryan, we find ourselves talking again. Why all the hype around, zero trust network access, ZTNA?
You see it in the news every day about all these different